What we know about who approached whom?
So yeah, we know that they've held talks. The talks were initiated by Hasbro some point towards the back end of last year, somewhere between sort of fall and the end of the year. Hasbro approached Mattel, said, look, we want to do a deal. At that point, Hasbro was actually the larger company by a pretty small margin, but still the bigger company. Today, Mattel is slightly bigger, partly by virtue of the fact that their shares have had a big run up in the past couple of weeks. So yeah, Hasbro kicked this off, and it looks like since then they sort of had on-off talks.
Hasbro, the smaller of the two companies by market cap, I gather. Any sense of what this combined company would look like? Again, these are very early days. You were just reporting on talks.
I don't know. I think it would look like the biggest toy shop in the world, I guess.
Yes.
The biggest toy box in the world. I learned today what a brony is, which I didn't know until
Glad you didn't ask me to
I was excited. The My Little Pony for boys. So look, I think it would obviously be the world's largest toy maker, I think by some significant distance. I think the other interesting thing is both of these companies are quite keen to play up their kind of digital presence, what they can do in terms of licensing out for some of this digital stuff. I think Transformers is a Mattel brand. I might be wrong. It might be Hasbro, but one or the other. and that's an example of exactly where they sort of license it out. Obviously, there's a movie franchise, there's computer games, etc. So I think they're both moving in that direction, and it's possible that by doing this merger, they would be able to kind of push further into that space as well.
Talk a bit about the health of Mattel, a brand so closely associated with Barbie, a brand that's undergoing some sort of reinvention right now. How's the company doing? I
think it's doing pretty well. It's as you say, it's undergoing this reinvention. We carried a very big story in Business Week recently about this, the Barbie sort of, enjoying her new, more curvaceous look. And I think exactly this. I think, look, toys is definitely an industry where it's very easy to get mature and sort of quite stuffy quite quickly. And, they have done a phenomenal job, really, of revitalizing. I mean, Barbie's been around longer than probably either of us have been alive, right? Exactly. And they've revitalized her over and over again. And, as you say, they're doing very well. They released like knockout earnings earlier this week. Their shares are up about 15% already this week. So.
Let me just ask you about the competitiveness of this space of toy making. You mentioned we could have here the world's largest toy box. But it was big news when the Disney brands Frozen and the Disney princesses went over to Hasbro. They bid for it and got this Rhode Island company got those brands. These are properties that are well fought over. I mean,
Yeah, that's absolutely right. They're very well fought over. Partly it's this. Look, they're brands that everyone knows. They have enormous marketability. They're globally popular. So your ability to actually, play through the cycles when one country's doing well and another country's doing badly is very strong there. I think the interesting thing here is there is no obvious counterbidder for either of these companies, just because they are the largest by, as I say, such a margin. I mean, if you bring up like listed toy makers, there are only two that come up, and it's Hasbro and Mattel. So, they are the pure players in this game, and no one else.